Well, howdy friends, I'm Jay, I'm a registered nurse, and in today's video we're going to answer the juiciest questions about nursing. Do I regret becoming a nurse?
I don't want to do it, I'm going home.
Is nursing like Grey's Anatomy? Why did you become a nurse? Obviously, all these thoughts are my own. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for the whole profession. Well, let's start off with some of the most boring and basic questions here. First, what do nurses do? Nursing is a multifaceted role, and there's different types of nurses. For me, I'm a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, BSN, so I studied 4 years to become a nurse, and I'm a registered nurse. I currently work in urgent care. I've worked in the hospital, I've worked in hospice, so I do have some experience in other realms. Usually it's patient care. We collaborate with other healthcare professionals.
Gang, gang.
We assess patients, we educate patients. We do a ton of documentation. We really are the first line support for families, whatever. And my favorite part of nursing is the health promotion, teaching, education. Next, why did you become a nurse? Well, from a super early age, I always loved everything to do with health and wellness. I was in a bunch of sports, constantly playing sports. I even asked my parents, I was so, dare if I say, I had the tism over health and wellness stuff. I was just so addicted to it. And I also love educating and teaching. And so, when it came to the point of trying to choose what to do with my life, I sort of just fell into nursing. Here's a good one. Is nursing like Grey's Anatomy? Whew. Yes and no. Let's start with the no. It is not. The medical drama that happens in Grey's Anatomy is insane. Like, some of that shit, it just doesn't happen like it happens. And especially the medical interventions. Most of the things they do to save patients in Grey's Anatomy does not happen. I will say that hospitals and urgent care, like everywhere I've worked, there is a lot of drama in the field, and there is some, relationship stuff that happens. I've never really been involved in shit like that, but it does happen. And I will say my urgent care could totally have a show to itself. I feel like it would be a lot like The Office.
Smells good.
But maybe we could call it The Clinic.
Tastes good too.
Or Jay's Anatomy. How do nurses keep a work-life balance? Nursing schedules are super weird, and all types of nursing fields have different schedules. My urgent care, I work 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, and I'm only scheduled 60 hours every 2 weeks. But I pick up a lot more. The last month or so, I've been working around 80 hours. Yeah, like 12-hour shifts and stuff allows you some time off. I will say, though, it's really hard to explain until you start doing 12-hour shifts, but just because you have time off the next day, a lot of that time with that 12-hour shift is catching up to what you missed. Personally, I just think it's really important to make nursing not your whole life and to have different things going on and different hobbies. For me personally, I love creating videos and learning and teaching. I also love playing sports. I play like every sport you can think of. Now lately it's been a lot of basketball because it's basketball season. This winter, I hope to ski some more. I love skiing. I was mountain biking all summer. I love working out. I love running. I'm getting into running more again. Thinking maybe I might do some challenges with that. Yeah. Exploring the things you really like to do. I have self-diagnosed myself with ADHD for sure. And so I get down these rabbit holes in periods of time in my life where I just get hyper-focused on things and love learning about them. So I'm running with it. It's great. Use that to your advantage. What are some unexpected things about nursing? I don't think people know how much technology is involved in nursing, and obviously in the future that's going to be a huge change. There's going to be so much tech in nursing, and I'm sure AI will really help with charting and documentation and finding problems with patients. I think that's super fascinating. The analytics alone from even like wearable technology like an Apple Watch is insane. Quick plug here, Athletic is one of my favorite apps that I just discovered. I wish I would have knew about it sooner, but basically it takes your Apple Watch data and imports like your heart rate variability, see how recovered you are, which exertion you're using, how your sleep is, and using this data to kind of drive how healthy you're being. It's improved my life so far, and I've only had it about a week or two, so I love it. Holy crap, that was a tangent. I'm sorry, guys. And also, before people become nurses, I don't think they realize how much blue light you're under and the sounds, all that stuff that affects you. I've always been someone who's pretty sensitive to blue lights, to sounds and stuff. So that's like one thing about nursing. I'm like, maybe we should take nursing outside, fucking outdoor hospitals in Minnesota. Today it was 30 degrees out. People would love that shit. Something I wish patients knew. I think I wish patients knew, this is more urgent care specific, but a lot of times there's long wait times. And I just wish they knew how much we also wish there wasn't those long wait times. Like, I want to help you as fast as I can. There's just limited people to do so. Do nurses treat patients differently? Yeah, I'd love to say no.
I'm sorry, but at this particular time, that's looking like a cap.
But they definitely do. They definitely do. And I think a lot of that has to do with how patients treat the nurses. Nurses are just humans, right? So if you're going to be a bitch to your nurse, they probably will only do what they have to for your care. They're not going to go above and beyond. I wish this wasn't the case. I want to make that clear. I try my best to not do that. But we're all human. Like, it's hard for you to ignore how you feel about someone. Like, I don't want to spend more time in a room if I really don't like the person. Most of the patients I come across in urgent care are pretty nice and I love helping them. But, there is patients who are just crazy. And we have to try to help them all the same. That doesn't mean that we do. And I think every nurse kind of knows what I'm talking about. We're all humans, right? How do nurses stay healthy during long shifts? Great question. I wish I knew the answer. No, just kidding. First off is a good night of sleep before your shift. That's one of the things. I know it's going to be a bad shift if I get bad sleep before. I really try to make sure before my 12-hour shifts I get a good night of sleep. I have a 12-hour shift tomorrow, so tonight I'm going to try to get to bed early as hell. I like to bring lunches. My shifts are from 8 to 8 when I work 12-hour shifts, so I usually will bring like a morning, I guess it could be breakfast, but it's like usually just yogurt, and then I'll have a lunch and a dinner usually. But that's one way to stay healthy, is having like pre-made meals ready for you. Try not to order all your food, and you could consider wearing blue light blocking glasses or something that that artificial light just messes with you big time. How do nurses stay organized? They all have ADHD, so their brain works really freaking well having a scatterbrain. I definitely use timers on my watch a lot, and I use Siri on my watch, like set a reminder for me. I love doing that. I always have Post-it notes, and I'm writing notes like at my desk where I'm charting and stuff. How do nurses handle death and grieving? So yeah, when I worked in hospice, this was basically my specialty. I feel like nurses are called into nursing because we are just naturally good at empathizing with people, but that also means we can be impacted by death a lot. How does anybody deal with death and grieving? It might help if you have a faith in God, praying, but for me, I just kind of focus on the patients I have at hand and how I can help them live the best life possible. I don't know if that's really good advice, but for me, it's just trying to move on. How do nurses stay awake during night shifts? Caffeine, coffee drips into our arms. Night shift ruined my health. I could stay awake fine, but my issue was then the next day I couldn't freaking sleep. So I basically didn't sleep at all when I was working night shift in the hospital, and my health was destroyed. Some people do just fine with night shift though. So if that's you, take advantage. How do nurses improve their bedside manner? Staying very relaxed, not having crazy facial expressions when something is gross, when something makes you laugh that shouldn't. I think it's really important to be really human with people. Being over professional, I think, is almost a bad thing. Like in urgent care especially. I'm just trying to chit chat, get to know what's going on. Don't overdo it sometimes. Also, another thing is when you're educating patients or speaking to patients, don't overuse medical jargon. Yes, you can use that with your coworkers and doctors, but with the patients, simple it down. Keep it like 4th grade level. You want them to understand. How do nurses advance their careers? Well, nursing is weird because you can really move horizontally easily. You can go into different types of things. You can go from a hospital to being a school nurse to going to public health to hospice to... There's so many options. If you want to make more money, you could, move to California. You could start that OnlyFans.
No.
You could become like a nurse anesthetist or a nurse practitioner. Do nurses make a lot of money? Okay, this topic, I struggle with it because there are so many nurse influencers. There's even dedicated channels to this about how much money nurses can make. The reality is, I think they get paid okay, but it's like, don't go into nursing to get rich. It's not what nursing's about, and it's not gonna get you fucking millions. Basically, you have to become an entrepreneur to make those millions. And yes, nursing can set you up for that, but No, don't be into nursing because of the money. It's okay, but it's not like crazy. It's enough to get by. A lot of the money to be made in nursing is, things that aren't really options for everyone to do, like move to California or otherwise do travel nursing. But sometimes travel nursing can be a little overrated, and travel nursing isn't getting paid as much as they were like a few years ago when I was peak travel nurse. If you really want to make money, go into finance or something else. Do not just choose nursing for money. Do nurses ever play doctor when they're off duty? Depends on your bedroom kinks. Maybe. I live alone, so I don't come home and play doctor. What department makes the most money? Really, like in a hospital, all the departments make about the same. But certain specialties of nursing can make a lot more, such as nurse anesthetist or like advancing your career. And nurses smell trouble before it really happens. Yeah. You just get this feeling after a while. You just know. Even their vitals could be stable. They're alert and oriented times 4, but there's just something that'll tell you. I don't know what it is. You just sniff it out. Are nurses really always assessing you? Yes. I find myself even walking out in public and I'll see someone. I'll be like, oh, you're jaundiced. Or you'll just notice things about people. And it's so funny, and I don't even try to do it, but you're just always assessing. Another thing is people like be telling me about what's going on in their life, or like maybe a problem they're having in their life, and I'm like, oh, you're probably having this going on, and it's kind of funny. Is it true nurses have a stash of magical healing potions? Yeah, that's my girl Hermione from Hogwarts. She's got some shit for me. What is the most bizarre thing someone has mistaken you for other than a nurse? Doctor. It's not that bizarre. I kind of get that a lot, just being a male especially. What do I wish was different about medicine? This one, it's kind of what I've been talking about my whole life here, but it's more about the whole medical world. I am a firm believer in lifestyle. I hope I don't rant too much here, bear with me, but I really wish the medical world would focus more on lifestyle and prevention. Medicine is fantastic in acute scenarios, like you're having a myocardial infarction, you're having a stroke, you just were in a car accident. Those stuff, fantastic. In teaching people real health, giving access to really preventative care, setting up patients for success. I feel like this is what Peter Attia calls Medicine 3.0, where we have this preventative lifestyle. We do preventative checkups using wearable technology to help with our data, to help us understand our body, what's making us healthier and what's making us worse. So many health problems for these people could be eliminated, never would have happened if they would have had preventative measures. Obesity and stress, diabetes to an extent, and certain things are preventable. More movement is medicine. So many people would be healthier if they just had more movement in their life. It can just be walking. I always recommend joining a sport. I think it's great for you. Sport works your mind and your body. I just think there's nothing that can really replace that. You also have the community of sport. But I truly think there is probably a sport that everyone could enjoy if they joined it. I just think about how many lives we could have changed if we earlier would have introduced some of these lifestyle changes, right? I see that something to do with this will be in my future, something with a prevention. We'll see where it takes me in 5-10 years. We'll see where I'm at. Change like this is a very gradual thing. It takes a lot of time. I think we keep pushing for it. Do I regret becoming a nurse? And this is probably the most asked question of all time. I get this all the time, and I never exactly know how to answer it. It's not a simple yes or no for me. The part of me that says, no, I don't regret nursing, is because I've learned so much. I've learned so much about healthcare and medicine and just people in general. You get so close to people. So in that sense, I wouldn't be where I am today without nursing. A lot of people will say they hate nursing school, but I actually enjoyed nursing school. So for those reasons, no, I do not regret nursing. The amazing part of nursing is there is a lot of different opportunities and fields where you can get into, and I can use these skills to my advantage. I'm just trying to navigate my way through that. However, the hardest thing, I do see myself doing other things, but would that be better for me? I don't know. I mean, the grass is always greener on the other side. For me personally, I have always been so passionate about sports and coaching and teaching. And so, part of me is like, maybe I should have been an athletic trainer. Maybe I should have been a teacher and a coach, like a health coach or a wellness consultant. My original plan when going into nursing was, as every nursing student does, they want to be a nurse anesthetist. And I soon figured out, I don't know if that's quite for me. But then I moved to nurse practitioner. Now, nurse practitioner, I do think I would enjoy the career. What I like about it is seeing a patient and trying to figure out what's wrong with them. I love that. And then I could coach them. But as soon as I entered the workforce, I started to notice how that's not exactly how things go down. I mean, there's so much limited time. Also, the pay for nurse practitioners and more school, more student loans, it just didn't add up. It didn't really make sense for me at the time, and it still really doesn't. I'm not really ruling that out, but I think that in the future, I want to combine, health and wellness in medicine and the things that I'm currently trying to learn. That's kind of what my YouTube channel is about. It's just learning things and trying things, increasing human performance and health and productivity. And I just hope and I think that in the future there will be some serendipitous moment where I can hopefully create a really helpful business for the world. That's my idea right now. We'll see where that goes. I'm not ruling out the idea of nurse practitioner or doing something else in health and wellness or coaching and teaching. I'm just trying to continually learn right now and hopefully get myself into a good position one day. I'm still young, so I got a lot of things I can learn yet. And yeah, so I guess bottom line, I don't regret nursing, but do I see myself in other areas? Yes. Anyways, I hope I answered some of the burning nursing questions that you had. I pulled all of them from the internet, and I hope I found some good ones. Peace out. Love you guys. Subscribe.